Hello, Lucas.
Good morning, Eduardo. How are you doing? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Very well, very well. Quite a
Okay.
hectic day yesterday, but no, we're good to actually restart.
Okay. So actually, the source of this problems was the previous version of React, right?
No, it's not in React at all. It's inside Webpack.
Okay.
The basically Webpack is a Java is a Node
Mm-hmm.
library that allows to compile the files, package the files, do optimizations, transform GSX into normal HTML,
Mm-hmm.
Sass into normal CSS, and thousands of features. Webpack is quite powerful, but looks like that using require inside the components is deprecated. So in this case, we're gonna put the images in the server, and I will still look it up about the dynamic imports because that's something for the Cupcake website. We don't need something as complex as hosting the files in some web server just to make a small simple product page. So that will be something that I will still look it up. I just found a resource that may be the solution, but I needed to read it in detail and make an exercise before I can be 100% sure that
Mm-hmm.
this is the correct solution. Let me show you.
Okay.
So, but of course, I will try to read about this one. This is native JavaScript implementation, so it should be 100% universal and safe to use. But again,
Okay.
I need to test it out before I can recommend using this method.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we still have 4 days, so we are good to go.
Okay.
Hello, Mega. Hello, Jira. Hello, Sat.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Eduardo.
Hello.
So the final product of this week would be this React page, right?
No, this YouTube video site is an exercise that we're gonna do in class, and we are actually gonna do the live code sessions today.
All right.
Based on yesterday's lecture, I realized that React is so complicated that the linear approach of using PowerPoint slides that it was for me it was quite easy to follow in HTML and CSS and in JavaScript. Doesn't bond quite well in React because in React everything is so couplet that, to be honest, yesterday's slides has been done since a couple of weeks ago, but I never figured out how to make it then look nice because I didn't know how to realize information. So I think that today I will drop the slides entirely and we'll go with the tutorial. And I'm gonna each time that we reach a new concept inside the code session, I'm gonna stop it to explain it. So we're gonna go PowerPoint less today and see how it goes.
Okay. Cool. Nice one.
And then if everything goes well, I will try between today and tomorrow. I will write slides with the topics that are more basically like as a flashback or highlights of the video tutorial. So you don't need to see the 3 hours video once for something small. So in that case, I will just use the PowerPoint. I will replace the PowerPoint slides with something that is only the more specific points instead of concepts or theory. That's something that you can actually read it for in a better description in the official React documentation anyways.
All right, cool. Yep.
Nice. By the way, because of this small issue, I didn't finish reviewing every single Cupcake website, but as I was telling my mentees, I reached to the letter H. That sounds like almost half of the alphabet, but due to everybody having a S last name in this in this particular group, that means I only have reviewed around 15 projects. But from the 15 projects, I see that everybody gets the hang of it. So I'm confident with the CSS part. And because of that, to make this tutorial even faster, I will not even use I will not code the CSS. I will just copy the CSS from the old project because that part is not broken. Because I feel that you get the hang of CSS. There is one project that I was a little bit preoccupied, but I will take that after we solve this particular React project. But otherwise, I saw the websites. Yep, I feel comfortable that you can handle. I feel comfortable that you can handle CSS. So we're gonna skip that particular topic today.
All right, good to hear.
Could you explain that stretching images in that div box?
Yeah, I will cover. I can cover CSS a bit later because unfortunately we lose one day of React yesterday because the activities in the afternoon become basically worthless. So I really want to focus on a little bit on React today. But after we finish, I can go circle back to CSS.
Okay, thank you.
And don't worry, every single TA is comfortable speaking about CSS. So I know that Karoli will be available from 1 to 4. I spoke with him yesterday. I explained the situation. And I think Ulalak is also going to be available today. So yeah, you will have a lot of support. I know that yesterday, even Ulalak was asking me about this problem. Of course, because the problem was not in React. If you actually wrote React something, you will never, ever find the problem because the problem was never in React in the first place. So let's wait until we reach 35 or 905, and we do a quick explanation of the thread in case that somebody missed it yesterday.
Hello, Eduardo.
Hello.
I have a question before we start.
Yeah.
What is Web Vitals?
Web Vitals is that's a new library that React actually implemented. To be honest, less than, I don't know, between this month and the last one, because when I did the prototype of the SEA project was in August using Firebase, that one didn't exist. But for what I read in the comments, it looks like it's solving about self-diagnostics of React. So for example, if you make a mistake on importing a library, I know that yesterday when we were coding, you were seeing that each time that I write a line of code and it was not 100% complete, React throw red errors left and right. Okay, React can understand which errors are due to because React updates the project in real time as soon as you write one line of code, even if you didn't finish writing the code, and that's why it throws errors. Yeah. It knows when it's an error based on something that is typing in real time and something that was after the compiling. And if the error comes after the compiling, it means there is something more serious, because the other kind of error is basically, hey, it's React. Let me finish writing the code before you start saying go freak. So React knows that there is two kinds of mistakes, and the first one is he knows there is its own paranoia. The second ones are the criticals one, and the Web Vitals, I think, they are related to actually send reports to Facebook about the second group, the actually important one, to see what developers are making mistakes. Maybe in a perfect scenario, that will mean that the documentation of critical points will be improved. But Facebook is all about data collecting, so we don't know exactly what is the purpose for. Yeah. But basically, it's trying to monitor the health of the application itself. Not for your benefit, it's for Facebook benefit. But remember, we're using a Facebook tool for free, so there is a price for that, and it's your data.
Yeah, good to know that. Thanks, Eduardo.
No problems. And we are 32. At this point, we are going to start 905, regardless if we reach the 35 minimum, just in case. There you go. Perfect. So we are in 905, so let's get started. So first of all, let me share the screen so we can see the post in Slack. Yesterday exercise had a real nasty issue. You can see the post I'm highlighting right now. For the ones that read the comment and the thread, you are up to speed. I only need to go deep a little bit in one particular point, but for the rest, let me explain what happened yesterday. Last year, we did this tutorial of a YouTube video site for the SDA students that were in the physical location. At that point, using Require was a quick and easy way, not gonna lie, it's quick and dirty, but quick and nevertheless way to import assets on the fly inside React components. The advantage was that you can also pass a variable inside the requirement function. So for example, if you have a folder with a couple of pictures, you can just use the require method and pass a variable. So you can say which picture to import. Looks like that, well, no, sorry, at this point, I'm sure about this part. Webpack, the Node library that takes care of packaging your apps for publishing on your React applications and for the web, deprecate that functionality in current versions. So why it works in the original project? The reason is because both the website and the Git repository are using all versions of the Webpack Node and React libraries. But as soon as you created a new React app, it installed the latest versions of these three libraries. Thus, the bug, the deprecated function doesn't work anymore when you create a new project. So, solutions. I will not read the one this year. The first and most mediocre solution will say, I could just easily say, oh, use an older version of React. But as you heard me yesterday, I'm against these kind of solutions. I really think that the web is an ever evolving place. We are supposed to use the latest technologies available. That's why when we were speaking about with Elena and Lee about class components, Facebook is moving about that one. Class components in React are not deprecated, but the line is clear. You need to write code in React using functional components from now on. So as you can see, the web is ever evolving. And imagine if I told you yesterday, you should always use the latest versions of each library. And then when we find a problem, I will say, oh, the solution is easy. Just install the old version. It will be quite hypocritical on my part, and I will be a really bad teacher because that will not be a real solution. You will not be able to prosper as a web developer if you actually tie to an old version of React forever. You really need to be comfortable with this kind of deprecation. That's why as soon as I discovered what was the problem, instead of entering in panic mode, I realized that the most sensible, the most logical solution was to restart the project. And of course, it doesn't mean that I built every single line of code from scratch, because it's something that I feel proud that last week, based on the quiz and the Cupcake website that I just saw, I only saw around 15, but that's a nice sample to get the overall picture of everybody. I feel that you have a good understanding of CSS, a good understanding of HTML. So if you write good HTML and good CSS, that means that you can port the project from an old version to a newer version without any issues. So to be honest, creating the project from scratch didn't mean to start everything from scratch. It was only about the major critical points that needed to be rewritten, and the components, basically the HTML tags and the CSS were copy paste. I did take a little bit of time to actually rename some classes to go with the recommendations that we did last week, but nothing major. So that's the new repository that you have right now in the platform. Now, I mentioned something here about a deeper problem that goes in the organization itself. And what do I mean by that? For the dynamic imports, even if I'm still researching a nice way to do that, for example, if you want to do the Cupcake website, the dynamic imports was a nice solution. Of course, the require is deprecated, so we cannot use that one anymore. But finding another way to do the dynamic imports will be nice for this particular smaller projects. But what both Webpack, React, and Node are trying to nudge or push us is to, if you want to make something with dynamic content, it should not be a static website. So for example, imagine that in the Cupcake website, the client says, I love the website, but I want to add 3 more cupcakes. That means that your website is not static anymore. That means that it's dynamic, because that means that the client can increase or decrease the amount of cupcakes on demand. And that means that you probably need some kind of online solution. I don't want to say a database for something as simple. There is different kinds of databases and backends for different levels of complexity. So, for example, this kind of projects could be easily tackled by Firebase. But or if you want something simpler, in an optional lecture called Other Technologies, I will mention something about GAPSI, something that with Hermanos I already mentioned before, allows you to create static websites. So, for example, what I'm trying to say is that the hack of using because now it will be considered a hack of using require inside a component to create dynamic imports, so you can open a file, a picture from any from your project folder and pass a variable to open any image is considered a bad practice. So if you want to make it this kind of websites, the recommended version will be to use something like GAPSI or some kind of database where you can actually store the information and having some kind of user interface to add more content on the fly. But I will still, for smaller projects, there is probably some way to actually do the dynamic import. I will still look about that one. But what I'm trying to say is React is pushing us to be more organized. So dynamic imports inside the component was a bad practice. So I removed it completely. And for this project, I'm hosting both the video. Well, the videos were always hosted on the server, but the channel thumbnails and the video thumbnails are now hosted in the server as well. And only the logotype that is a real static asset, the one that doesn't change based on doesn't change all the time. You don't add more logos to your website. It's once every single moon you actually decide to rebrand your project and you change the logotype. But it's not something like in the YouTube site or in the Cupcake website that you can add more content on the fly. In that kind of scenarios, a database-related solution should be implemented. And if you don't want to add the complexity of a database for such a small project, then something like GAPSI will be your best recommendation. But because even I consider GAPSI something as complicated for something that is as small as the Cupcake website, I will still look it up. If there is a way to do dynamic imports, I found one native implementation of JavaScript, but I need to test it out before I can confirm that it works inside React, Node, and Webpack without any issues. So for now, the images that are supposed to be simulating a database, the videos, the thumbnails, and the channel thumbnails from the website are on the server, and the static asset that is the logotype will load from our assets folder just to simulate a real project as close as possible. So with this explanation out of the way, let's get started.
Just one question on that. Sorry,
Yeah.
we were saying, like, normally if someone was to design a website for a small business, they would have like an upload feature, is what you're saying. You just like upload a new image and put in the product information. And that, okay, I see. Cool, thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to see a solution for that one, as I mentioned before, it's GAPSI, and I hope that I can cover the optional lecture Firebase, because I believe that one is a quite nice solution as well. If we put in the left, if you put in the right side a full server solution that is super complete and super custom, but on the other hand, it's too complicated to set up.
Yeah.
On the other extreme, you have GAPSI. It's easier to code, but it's quite limited. I think that Firebase will be a happy medium. It's easier than a full server, but it's not as limited as GAPSI. So I hope that I can cover Firebase as a single optional lecture at the end of the week. So, okay, this was, by the way, I didn't see that I have the window open. This is the dynamic imports that looks like you can actually do imports inside with the newest versions of JavaScript, you can do imports inside the class component or a function. So now this is a native implementation. But I need to read about this one before I can actually recommend this one. So for now, forget about this one. Yeah, go on.
So last night I was just struggling with this thing, and I was trying to use write a function to read in a bunch of images, right? I don't know if this is the same topic, but to read them all in at once, so I could just put them directly into sort of a picture holder inside of the Cupcake website. And like, is it possible to use? Because I was struggling to use, for example, regular expressions. So like the question mark and the hat before and after to get like JPEG images into the thing. If you use the fetch function, because I know that works on the front end.
Can you go again? Because yeah, please go ahead.
So what happened was I was trying to read in a bunch of images in one go, like with a map function, just to read them in. So then I use the fetch function, which works on the front end, right? And then what happens is that I was trying to use regular expressions, didn't work. I tried to use like the fetch with then, and then to try to use the map on it, didn't work. So like nothing works on that thing. And I only found one solution. They say that you should use the front end with back end, but with cores. So CORS. So essentially, then you can use Node to like essentially pass data to the front end and the back end, and you can use like file reader and stuff like that.
But I don't want to make it hyper complicated. I do believe that even if that works, you are trying to. I think that we should find a more elegant solution. So yeah, for now I will host the content on the server, and for the Cupcake example, I will try to use dynamic imports. But I understand what you're trying to say, the file reader, but that can, in a server, that can create security issues. So in localhost can work, but in a real, unless you actually have full control of the server, with the security issues in the server, I don't know if that will be 100% bulletproof.
Thank you.
If you actually are the only owner of the server, yes, but if you're working as a team and you have a dev lead, he probably sets the rules, and maybe the rules will not allow you to do that. So it's not 100% viable. So, well, let's get started. Full disclosure, I was mentioning this before to a couple of students, because I saw a couple of websites already of the Cupcake. I feel comfortable with your skill in CSS. We are going to skip that one today. So literally, one of the first steps that we're going to do is copy the old folder, CSS folder, and paste it into a new project. So as soon as we start writing components, they will start becoming stylized. But in any case, we're going to build the project from scratch. So the first step is to analyze the old project. So we open the project, and we can see right at the start, we have a search header bar with the logo, with a search bar, and the search bar is composed of an input and a search button. We have a home section with a couple of videos. The videos are basically what we call a card. A card is basically a super version of a link, because it contains much more visual information to sell me the idea to click on this particular button. So if I click this one, I will navigate to another page, and if I press play, I can play the video. And below the video, we can see basically the title, the same more statistics, and a description of the video itself, and a button to go back to navigate between pages. And I always use the clicking on the logo as well to go back and forth. You can also see that the header changes colors depending on the web page. So basically, we can pass each time that we change pages, the header receives a variable or changes the class, CSS class, to change the theme according to the web page. So this is the stuff that we're going to build between today and tomorrow. So, okay, now that we analyze the website, we can start organizing our project. So first things first, we're gonna do a Git repository. Bitbucket. We're gonna repeat the steps from the very beginning. So we'll create
Eduardo, the other images are very difficult to see because of resolution and so on. Is it possible to make the screen bigger, etc., font and so on?
sorry,
Like
what?
zooming in? It's difficult to see your other videos because of resolution. Is it possible that and quality really?
I put a lower resolution because just to make it
course.
easier. But yeah,
Doesn't make-
that's
but you can still
depends on
make
the
the
assets that
font
you have.
higher, bigger. You know what I mean? If you increase the font size, then you can still use lower resolution.
No,
quality.
yeah.
I think you mean like in this context, right? Like right now. is
No,
what
I
you're
mean like with coding because it's like impossible to see. Now I don't really care, but you know what I mean? Like in the VS Code, it's impossible.
Okay, if I need to increase the font size, yeah, yes, okay, that's okay. So I will create a repository called video site. I will make it public. Nothing here. I will create a repository. Perfect, it's empty. And I will start, open the terminal to close this project. I will put it on the LSCD documents. I will put it in my document folders. You can save your projects wherever you prefer. So I will clone here. Video site 2. Perfect. And I will create a new React project, create npm npx create React app. And I will say the same name that we have here, video site 2. This will take a couple of seconds, just wait. We are almost done. Ignore the errors that appeared before. The project works anyways. There's probably some security issues in Mac OS. And there you go. The website is working. Just let me check that it's working perfectly. I will have this one in memory. So video site, yeah, this is my project. Perfect. So I will drag and drop this one to Visual Studio Code. We'll close this one. We'll close this one. And we can create the first commit as installed np project. Something like that. Okay, the first things that I like to do is to organize the files. So I will create, let's go with branches. We can tackle this project in a couple of ways. First of all, let's analyze this project one more time so we can make a chart out of it. So we have the home page. We have 2 pages. This is the first page, the home page. And we have a second page. We can analyze that we have a second page based on changing the URL. So we have 2 pages, and we have a search bar as well. So for example, if I put Game Boy, and press search. We have a slash results and the query itself. So we have 3 pages. And we have the components, we have the header. The header is repeated across the project. We have the card component. We have the video player and so on and so forth. So we can make a quick chart out of that. So let me go to Whimsical. And this is usually how you start to visualize the project. Oh no, this one is a, no. There you go. This is the web development part. Okay, this is the ones I was making yesterday. So our project will be composed of a React app. It will be our core, ESX. We're gonna have, as we can see it, we have a home page. So we have a home page, ESX. I will make the font size a little bit bigger, and there you go. So this will be our project structure. Project component structure. There you go. We also have a video page. Perfect. A video page. And we also have a search bar. And the search bar is probably working from here as well. So if I put Skyfall, press search. Yep. We have the search bar as well. So we have a search page, USX. Perfect. Now, inside the home page, we're gonna start creating components here. We have the header and the cards itself. I have a title, but the title is basically an H1 or H2 tag, so we don't need to create a component just for a single title. So don't go over that crazy with components. So we have a header, and we have a card as well, card GSX. So these are components that we need to build during our project. For the video page, if I click on this one, we also have the header. You don't need to create a new header just because it changed the color. Remember, we can pass we can modify the color base just using CSS, and we can just pass a small class, a small variable between one side to another just to define the color. We're gonna see that one in the tomorrow. So we have the header as well, the header. We have the video player itself. Video player. Oh, perfect. Because the header is repeated, I will paint in a different color just to understand that this one is a repeated component. So I'm aware of this detail. And the search bar basically has the header as well. And the results. And the result item, GSX. And this one is, for today, we're gonna focus on these two. So I will actually forget about these ones. So I want to give you all your attention about these particular 2 elements. So this is the ones that we're gonna build for now. So this is what we're gonna build. Now that we're gonna build this, we can understand how we gonna tackle the project. First of all, I need to recover the assets. I have my project here. Well, first I will create a branch just to organize this mess, because everything is in a single file in the same level. So we need to organize that one. So I will create a branch. I will say organize project. And I will create a folder just for the CSS. One for the index. I will create a folder for the scripts. In this case, the scripts is these ones. Perfect. I will create a new folder just for assets. In this case, inside assets, I will have images. I will put my logo over there. I will not use tests in these ones, I'm not gonna lie. And I will rename, remember, just to be something I prefer to do it is to be organized. The ones that I know that are React components, I will change the name to JS to JSX, so I can get this nice blue icon in Visual Studio. So I have my elements here in a nice folder. This is my entry point, and I will start changing the location of the files because, for example, index is not in the root anymore, it's inside CSS. App is in the root still. Vitals is not anymore in the root, it's inside the GS folder. Perfect.
Excuse me, Robert, could you please increase the size again? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Can you see it better?
Perfect.
Yeah, nice. Don't worry at all. So yeah, this one is okay. And here, logo is not anymore in the root, is in assets, inside images. There you go. And app.js is not inside the root, is inside this one. So, and you can see a small recommendation that even React is using the import statement here instead of trying to do it in the import here. So that's something like a clue that the last year tutorial was not using the best practices at the time. So, okay, so far so good. This is vitals, and I only have one file inside is a top test. This one I don't know who runs it, so I think let me see to see which file is called in this particular file. Just literally go to the search and see references. I think that the one that was calling it was the app.test, and because I deleted that one, it's okay to remove it. You can run this project right now using npm start, or if you have a couple of options below your Visual Studio editor, and you can see these options appear based on your package JSON. And what is your package JSON? Quick information. This is basically it's like a README file, but instead for developers, it's for the machine. So it knows which package to install. Each time that you run npm install, it will start installing all these dependencies, include the web vitals Sif was talking about, the testing libraries, and so on and so forth, configurations for the JavaScript languages. And these are the options that you can see here: start, build, test, and eject. Let's focus on the two most important ones. That not gonna lie, I read once one was eject, and because I saw that it was so interesting, I totally forgot, and I never bothered to look at that again. But these ones are start your project. This is when you actually finish your project and you want to upload it to the website. This is the command that you need to do, because if you try to publish the public folder, nothing will happen. This runs your test, of course. You can look it up, this one, but trust me, it's not important. I remember looking at it a couple of years ago, it's not that important anymore. Anyways, this is the compatibility list from the browsers. This is for the CSS and certain JavaScript functions. So, for example, if you target Internet Explorer 9 and you write a function, a map function, Webpack using a plugin called Babel will transform your map into a for loop, because Internet Explorer 9 doesn't understand map functions. So it will compile back your code into a more common and understandable information for the browser. Same with these ones for the development testing, and so on and so forth. So okay, let's continue, and let's run the start command to see how it goes. I will pin this tab. This is small icon will be the reference website. This will be my chart. And so far the project is working. To test that it's actually working in real time, I can go back to the app.js. I will clean this up, and I will write just a video site. There we go. So it's working. And because I just removed the CSS, the content from the default React application, I will literally remove this CSS as well. And I will remove that file anyways. And I will remove the CSS from here. So I will have a clean slate and a clean project. So delete. And now my project goes back to the old ugly Times New Roman font that opens by default in HTML. So this is my first branch, organize the project. And I will start copying I will copy the information JSON from the other project, and you will literally see that I will actually do that. I will go to my Finder. So you can see it a little bit bigger. I will go to my documents, dep, WT module. This one is deprecated. So I will use this one and source. This has this information, perfect. I will go back to the documents, and this is what we're building right now. And inside the source, I will put this information. If I go back to my project, I can see a new file. Based on this JSON file, we will be able to build this element. I know that some of you actually have experience in front-end development, so for all of those, reading a JSON file is actually not hard at all. But for the ones that actually this is the first time that handling JSON data, this can be a little bit scary of seeing so much green matrix style text, and you don't understand what the hell is going on. But if we actually start to analyze this, it becomes quite easy. So let's analyze this JSON so we can see how easy it is actually to understand what is going on. So for example, I will copy this one, the first item. Remember, this is basically an array of objects. There you go. And I will copy the first one so we can understand. So each time that you, for example, you're facing with a new API call or a new JSON file to handle it, I will give you a small tip to organize your project better. Open a spreadsheet program and create something like this. Create a table, and a table just start listing the keys that you have in your project JSON. Let's see how many keys do we have. 1 key, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. So we have 11 keys. So we're gonna analyze each one of those so we can see what is this project about. So I will write the key. I will put the data type. I know that JavaScript by default doesn't use strong typing, but we can be organized, and at least we can set ourselves to try to be organized and understand which kind of data we are dealing with. We're gonna understand which kind of data we are dealing with a particular key, and then we're gonna read a small example. This will serve us as a small self-documentation about this particular element. So I will put it side by side, and I will put this one to the right, and let's analyze this one. The first one says ID. Perfect. And as a type, I can see that it's not a string, it's actually blue. That means that it's type number. Basically, what is this? What looks like? This looks like there is a unique identifier of the video. Identifier of the video. I will make this one a little bit longer. An example, I can go back. I will open each one's. So we can see that it's a sequence. So example will be like 1, 2, 3, 100, 5,000. It goes like to the infinite. Then the second one, it says there is a category. The key is called category. I can see music. I can see vehicles. I can see games. I can see music again. So I don't have another category. I have vehicles again, music, vehicles, games, music. So this means that I don't remember the name in Java, but in TypeScript it's called enumerables. So basically, it's a predefined list list of categories to sort the video. And the categories that I saw were music, games, vehicles. I thought we saw another one, vehicles, game, music. No, it looks like that. Those are all the categories that we have right now, etc. And you can do everything with the same with all the keys. And actually, I did already that, and I will actually start copying and pasting just so we can win some time. So you can do all the same with the same stuff with all the keys, something like this. And after that, if you go back and read this JSON file, it's not scary anymore. So again, project organization is the key for any project. So once a green screen full of scary data, it now becomes something easy to understand. So for example, let's go to one that we didn't cover. Videoton is a link, and it has the link to the image thumbnail. And it has an example, scandalwhitehouse.jpg. So let's go to Videoton, and then I can see there is a link and has the name of the file, JPEG, and some hash for security issues in the server. So as you can see, this JSON is not scary anymore once you take the time to write it down and break it down inside a spreadsheet or inside a table. It makes easy to understand what data are you dealing with. So yeah, this is a nice tip that you can actually have. And you can actually write this tab, for example, JSON information. Now we can actually start writing which components do we have. We already did this in the components in the chart, but we were talking about the header, the card, the video player. We can also say the home page, and the video page, and so on and so forth. So you can start documenting everything. It's quite easy. But this is the most important one. Let's see how we're gonna break it down. How do we break down the project? How to break down the project. So we're gonna put here. I wanna before we start coding, we're gonna start analyzing how we are gonna organize the project itself, so we can code it as efficiently as possible. So let's go over to analyze the site. We see that the most important one is the home page, of course. In the home page, we have the card, we have the header, and when we click in the card, we go to another page. We keep the header. We only change the design. It's the same search bar, and we have the video. So we can say step number one. Step number one will be I will put the number of tasks we're gonna build. This is the task that we are gonna do today, and let's do a small description. Well, this one will take a little bit of time, so I will actually just put the task, and I will speak about that. So the first thing that we need to do is to organize the project, and this is what we are actually doing right now: organize the project. Then, because we are speaking about that, everybody was mostly all of you are making good you have a good understanding of CSS. We can skip the writing in CSS part, and we'll copy it from the older project. So we are gonna copy the CSS, the old CSS. This is what we are gonna do today. Then we are gonna create the most visual striking element. The most important one is the card. So we are gonna create the card. Create the card component. Let me just put it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Then we're going to create multiple cards. Because you can see that we don't have one instance In contrast to the header, that we only have one header, we have multiple cards. So we're going to create multiple cards first in the bad way and then in the correct way. So we're going to see two approaches. The number one is for teaching purposes. Never do that, actually. We're going to explain that into details when we reach that particular point. After we finish the cards, we're going to move to the header. Create the header. And we can keep going and going, but for now, let's focus on these particular 5 points before we can add even more, so it doesn't get any more confusing. So we just organize the project. We have an idea how to start, so let's get started. Let's copy the old CSS from the old project to the new one. I will go to deb, WB module, sort CSS. I don't know why my mouse cursor is a text mode, but let's keep going anyways. It's fixed now. I will go to the source folder and I will paste inside my CSS. And if I go back to Visual Studio Code and I open, I can see that I have a lot of CSS files. Remember, in this tutorial, we are not going to explain the CSS. You have a good understanding based on what I saw in the Cupcake website. But if you have specific questions about CSS, TAs will be available in the afternoon, so we can concentrate only on the React part. So, oh, sorry, before we actually paste the CSS, I want to, this number needs to be updated. So this
Eduardo,
yeah.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but what happens is that the one issue is always the mobile first, right? And particularly the iPhone SE. Could you just say one word about like exactly how one does that in React? Because I think it's a little bit tricky, at least for myself.
No, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. You first design it as a mobile first, and then you start adding columns. It's the same principle. Because React doesn't care about the screen size. It's the CSS that takes care of that. So yeah, if you have strong CSS fundamentals, you will be able to do that without any issues.
Okay.
So let me go keep back. And sorry for that one. Sorry for going a little bit off topic. And I will close this branch because we actually finished organizing our information. So the reason that I delete the CSS folder is because I want to make this one, each one, I want to make it a branch. So when you see the project, you can go back in time, back and forth in time by seeing these ones as particular Git branches. So I will say this closing the organization branch because we finish organizing the project. I know that the grammar is horrible, but then speak it out loud, it's quite difficult to concentrate. So I will push this one to the server. So you can see go back and forth. And each time that you add a feature, in this case, what feature do we add? We organize the project. That was our feature. Look at this is the master branch, and look how this organizes in comparison to the first branch that is called organization. So I will go to the master branch, and I open a new console. Don't worry, this error mistakes is because some files have disappeared. So I will open a new terminal window. I will say git merge one organizing project. I think that was the name of the branch. No, it's organize project. Organize. And then you can see that the Git has been updated. Perfect. I will reload the page. Let me see. It's working. Perfect. Now I will create a new branch called CSS. CSS. The only purpose of this branch is actually to implement the CSS. And by the way, this is how you're supposed to create branches in any case. Each time that you set your goals in mind, and each task should be a branch. So in this case, I will focus on the CSS. Let me go back into the documents, my dev folder, my This is the CSS I want to copy. And I will copy the assets later because I forgot to copy the assets during the organization part, but you get an idea. Video site 2, sources. I don't see, okay, and the CSS folder, perfect. And because we are here, let me copy the logo types at the same time. So I will go to this one, sources, assets, images, and we have if I zoom in, you can see the both logos. The one that is not that there is nothing here, is that because the background is white and the text is white, you don't see anything, but this one actually has the word reactive in white. So I will copy this image folder. I will go to my video site, source, assets, and I will merge the image folders. Perfect. And because I'm not using this logo anymore, I can delete it. And then I can see my Git repository. It says that I added the CSS folder because it's green, and in the asset ones, I can see that these two files are new. So I will say remove remove all logo. 2, added the new logos. And 3, added the entire CSS folder. I will commit, I will push online. It doesn't find the logo JPEG. Let me just go to images and I will delete this reference because we don't need it anymore. And perfect, we are back to square one. So perfect, we have the project assets organized. To be honest, now that I'm thinking about this, these two steps should have been one single one Git branch, organize the project and CSS, but it is what it is. So I will put because I don't remember what I did here, I can click here. By the way, this is something in Git. If you want to see a comparison between files, let's say that I have a change in this particular file, but I don't remember what was the change. I can click here, go to click here, and then I see the difference. And then I see the red thing is the stuff that was removed. So I can see that, oh, I deleted the for React logo, comma, because I will use my own video site logo. Perfect. With that out of the way, I will go back to the master and I will do the same process. I know it's a little bit tedious, but trust me that this is how you learn to be organized. So git merge to CSS. Perfect. And now you can see that this branch added files and removed these particular elements from the project. And let's go back to my organization project. I will call this one project organization. Let me call it project organization. I will save it in the desktop. There you go. So we just complete this one, and we complete this one. So we're gonna start by creating the car component.
Can I
Yep.
ask Eduardo, just before we go any further, I want to go back to what Lee was asking. I think because me and him had a similar issue, and it wasn't CSS related. It was just in like in starting the project, when you're going for designing for mobile or designing for like a phone screen, what is the starting point you should be looking at? Because like the most intuitive thing for I think a lot of us, or a couple of us, I think someone else mentioned it to me as well, was to look at your computer screen in full desktop mode and then start like laying out the project in desktop mode. But what are so I think what Lee was hoping for you to say was like, what are the key things that we should be looking for to make sure something is mobile friendly before it's desktop friendly?
I mean, I can say exactly what I meant. I don't think I'll tell you what I meant. So do you know how when me and you spoke and I first laid out I said to you first all the cupcakes, and then I split the screen into only cupcakes and only cakes, right? And what happens is that this is the question that I want to know. How does React? Because I spoke to him and I said to him, we always start from first principles. So we have a blank HTML and then we add the CSS. You just copy the CSS. And now the question becomes, how do we style this thing for mobile first? That's where I'm missing the jump.
Yeah, let me, for example, if I open just particular, I didn't want to touch the CSS, but if I go for the home page, it's quite easy. Yeah, this is the rules for the mobile version. And then when we start to making the screen bigger, we start to activate the grid. So look, when we are touching the tablet size, that's when we actually do display grid for the first time, and we create a 2-column layout. So again, we always start designing for the mobile first, and then we actually start add the desktop features. So yeah, nothing that I mentioned before actually will not apply. But if I go a little bit more off topic, even when you receive a design from a graphic designer, you will get both the mobile version and the desktop version at the same time, and you start coding the mobile one because that's easier. It's easier to then to build the desktop version than the other way around. So yeah.
So do you avoid importing the CSS until you've actually you actually built the whole? Like, at what point do you import the CSS so that it takes effect?
Yeah, in this one I'm copying it right now because I have it ready.
Yeah, I'm saying this in this case. Are you going to?
But in my case, in another case, I will do the tags, and maybe I will write just a super basic CSS, but not for design purposes. It's just so everything is not black and white, and I don't see where one component starts, another ends. Yeah. So I will add. So for example, I will put the cards red, background red, the header background yellow, just so I can see where they are positioned on the screen. But I will not start make it prettier until I have the components ready.
Okay, sick.
Perfect. So now let's go create a new branch, and remember we are following with these steps. We're going
to. Also, Eduardo, just sorry to. I know we're taking too many questions here. I do apologize. So yesterday, what happens is I put the images outside the source folder, and the thing wouldn't read it at all. Like and so then it's quite finicky when you're organizing like you are now. Can you speak about that?
I will answer these kind of questions actually later, because yes, otherwise we will never finish. So let me finish at least these 5 steps before we take questions, unless they are directly related to the particular point that we are coding. But yeah, keep it that question ready for answer after we reach the point number 5. So let's go back and let's create the card component. So let's go and card. I will call list one card. And again, because we want to be organized, we're going to create a folder just like we have a folder for assets, images, one for CSS and one for pure JavaScript functions. We can have one folder just for the components. And inside the components, I will actually go to the new file. I will call that card GSX. Remember, if I put GX, it will become yellow, but if I put X, it will become blue, and that's the one that we want. Remember, in each component, we need to be sure that we are importing React, because otherwise our compiler will not know that we need to convert this file into normal HTML and JavaScript files. So we need to import React so the machine knows how to handle this file. So from React, perfect. And because I'm organized, I try to say that this is from the React core, so I can differentiate my imports from the imports from React. And I will create a function, export default function card. It's a function, not a class, so I can use this this syntaxes. And we are going to return something super simple right now. Return an article, and I will say hi, just to know that it's working. I go back, nothing happens, of course, because I just created this one, but I never told how to actually put it on the screen. So I will import the component here. I will import my components. So I create components. In this case, import car from dot notation, remember, dot slash components slash, and I can see car, perfect. And I still see nothing because I only have imported to place it inside the project. I will put it here as a tag, remember, as a tag, because we are not writing normal HTML, we are writing an enhanced version called JSX. So I can say, hi, perfect. And this will be the moment to actually start importing the information, because we want to pass information, we want to pass this data inside the car component. So we are gonna import other imports. In this case, I want to import the information. So import information from dot notation, and information is in the root, so I don't need to enter a folder. Perfect. And just to be sure that the information is working, I will say console log information, and I will go open this one, open the console, and I can see that there is an array of 12 items and all the information, and you don't need to be scared anymore about all this blah blah blah, because you saw that we can break it down the JSON into smaller into individual items and into individual keys to understand them quite better. So keep going. Let's keep going. Now my next step will be to actually pass the information to the car, and we're going to do it by passing the concept of props. So in this case, I will pass information. I will pass a prop. In this case, I want to call this one data. And I will not pass the entire array to the car. I only want to pass an individual item. So I will just do information. Because remember, information is an array, I just can pass the first item in the array. And that's it. I will put it side by side so we can see a little bit better. So we are in the app, in the left, we have the app where we are pasting the prop called data. Inside my prop, the data that I want to, the information that we want to pass is the first item in the information array. So in car, I in turn do something similar. I need to receive this prop. So how do I do it? I create an object. I did the newest method called the structuring, where I can just write directly the same name here. So you can see this name and this name go together, and we can just literally check here and do a console log to know that we are receiving the object. We can see console log data, perfect, and another console log called car component, and this one will be console log console.log app component. So far, looks like there's no issues on the screen. Perfect. Car component actually have an object. Beautiful. An app component has an array. So everything is working so far. I can take this opportunity to actually refactor this one to use this particular syntaxes of one line. You can see that this one says function app, and below the line says export default app. You actually make this one in a single line and say export default function app. It's the same functionality, but it actually allows you to write it in one single line. I prefer to use this one, but both methods are okay. I will go back to see that it doesn't break. Perfect, it's not breaking. So yeah.
Eduardo, may I still ask one question? So for example, on the right-hand side, we say if we didn't put the squiggly brackets over there, the curly ones,
Mhm.
we could say props, right? And then we could say console.log props.id. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the prop ones, but the destructuring is the newest recommended way. So I'm going full straight with the newest ones. But yeah, the props dot notation works as well, but this one is the newest one. So just like the arrow function, that this is something that you need to, as a modern web developer, you need to get used to the new syntaxes. But yes, props dot works as well. From the technical point of view, it's the same, but this one is because once you get used to this one, it's quite easier. And to be honest, it's easier to read because prop doesn't give me it's a generic name, but I can play with my variable names much better using the destruction one. But good question. So let's keep going. Now we're gonna take a shortcut in this one. We're gonna start actually copy paste the article for the project because we need to build the card. You know HTML, so I feel comfortable making this move right now because you know that what is going on. We already know by the way that we have the data. By the way, if I go back to the console log, this is the data. So sorry, you have the data here. So I can do the destructuring once again. Let me just do it this one. So these are the elements that we get from the information array: the ID, the title, the description. Let me go back again, so you can see this is the same keys. I just put it in an easier to see way by using the destructuring once again. And with that information in mind, I just do the copy from the article. I will copy this one. What I'm doing here is quite simple. Is the structure of my component. We have an article as a wrapper. We have the class name card. Remember, in React, we don't use class, we use class name because we are not writing normal HTML tags. We are using the JSX. This is the name of my CSS file. And for now, we're not gonna focus on the link in this particular point, but link is an enhanced version of the anchor tag. So for now, because it's similar to this one, we're gonna do this one. I will come back later. I will write his. We going to explain link tag later. But that's related to the React router. I hope that you saw the video yesterday. But in any case, we're gonna wrap it up the thumbnail inside a clickable link, so you can go to the next page. That's the intention. This comment says that this can be refactored. Right now, we are not gonna focus on this one. Notice that I actually use the aside tag, and you're probably thinking, but you told us the aside was on the right. No, I was always telling you about that the aside tag is semantic HTML is for secondary content. In our video thumbnail, if we go back to our real, we start to see the content. Nice. If we go to the website, we can see that the major part of my card component is the picture. This is the one that grabs information, and this information is secondary. If I remove this information and I am still interested in the thumbnail, I will click it anyways. So if I cover this, for example, if I scroll down, I will make the window browser smaller. Even without the channel information, I can choose between which video to watch. So that's why I use the aside tag in this particular element. But you can use a div without any issues. But for the semantic one, I do believe that aside is a nice way to write this particular secondary information, the metadata. And I have one div for the left, one div for the right, because the picture is on the left and the rest of the content is on the right. So on the left, we have the image with the channel thumb. And on the right, we have the title, the channel name, and how many views. So title, channel name, views. And you can see that these two share the description class because they have the same font color and the font size. So you can see that this tag is not that scary. It will have taken me like 10 minutes to write, But now that you break it down, it's actually nothing hard in comparison that what we learned to do during the CV and the small cupcake website. So let's go back to our project right now. And I want to see, okay, right now we haven't connected the CSS. So this is the thumbnail, the video thumbnail. This is the channel video. This is the title, the description, and the video views, but we don't have the CSS yet. To import the CSS, we forgot this step in the previous one. You do it like this. Before that, let me just commit because we added the card component. So this is a branch, and we are gonna connect the CSS file here. So we're gonna do it here. Import. For CSS files, you don't need to have a name. Just literally import the CSS file ./CSS, and the file is called style.css. And let's see how it looks after that. That one. It looks horrible, but you can see that the channel thumbnail looks quite nice. The title has the perfect size. This one is quite aligned. If I enter to the mobile web mode, enter responsive web mode, and I go to the iPhone, you can actually see that this is how it looks this is how it looks on a mobile device. So right now we are starting to code mobile first. If I exit the responsive mode, you know that the thumbnail goes crazy, and the reason is because to fix this, we need to put this card inside a grid, so we can actually start making the cover smaller. For now, this is actually working.
One very quick question. I want to get right on the terminology. So card.jsx, when you instantiate it, so card is a class. Are we calling it a class?
A component. Remember, this is a functional. This is a component. This one is a component. The component is composed. It contains a function.
Yeah, thank you. That's I was just like trying to. I want to get the word right.
Yeah. Don't worry. That's where in React you hear functional components. It's basically the same thing that we just mentioned. A component made of a function. It's just the same thing but backwards. And the old ways of doing React was class-based components, because there are classes in JavaScript. But I remember that if you were on the TypeScript video, I was telling you about that classes are so bad that everybody is dropping them. I totally forgot that I have confirmation of that. Now you have confirmation. Classes are so bad that even Facebook are dropping them. Classes in JavaScript, in Java, and in other languages, classes are super powerful. It's just in JavaScript that classes are really bad.
Do you think, I've never encountered classes in JavaScript, but should we think about them exactly the same as we understand them in Java?
No, that's the whole point. That's because they're so bad. You don't have inheritance, you don't have interfaces, you don't have abstraction. So basically, they are so weak and limited. They're basically broken, and you cannot think as a Java class. That's why if you actually want to do real object-oriented programming in the web, you use TypeScript, because that actually gives you real powerful classes, just like Java classes.
Cool, thank you.
So with that context, you can see watch the TypeScript optional lecture and have more insight about that particular. I think that with all this information, the TypeScript video increases its value even more. So okay.
Sorry, Eduardo, sorry, there's so many questions. I do apologize. But what happens is that on the left-hand side, it goes card, data, and then the squiggly brackets and information. So these things are breaking down the JSX, right? And sometimes you have to use double squiggly brackets. I'm a little bit confused there. So what I normally do is I just put in more brackets and see if it works, right? So my question to you is, when do we, can you just help us to understand when we're using JSX and just in this particular example, as we hear now, because we're importing information, is that thing, so what is it? It's an object, right, of JSON.
Yeah, let me go back to the console. No, don't worry. Don't worry. Let me open the console, and you can actually see that I have two console logs. the app component, I'm making a console log for the app component based on the information. And the information, as you can see, is a JSON file. And the JSON file, if I open the JSON file, you can see that the first line of code is basically an array. So far, so good. So this is an array of objects. Now, inside the app, I passing. You can use props, but I don't want to use the generic name. So I choose to use data, and inside data, I'm telling you the data that I will pass you is the first item of the information array. And here, so remember, this goes here, and this information is the one that is received here. And then I'm doing the destructuring, so I don't need to do data.videotom, and so on and so forth. So this is what the structuring is for. So I can access the variable names directly.
Okay, cool. Now I get you. So we're only working with objects here. There's no like, I'm changing it into JSX, etc.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I get you. Cool.
Yeah, no worries. So now we actually have our first card, and because it looks ugly as hell, I will, for now, until we have the grid, we'll make it this one smaller. Now this one looks less hideous. This looks manageable. So we finish our card, and we say finish the card component, and we're gonna push on this one. We wait until it's done and do a master. We go to master and do another merge. Git merge 3 card. There you go. And now that we're in master, and now master is up to date with the latest version, nice. We can create a new branch. Let's go back to our project. We just finished this one. Sorry, we finished this one. So now we are going to create multiple cards. And how do we do that? Quite simple. To create multiple cards, let's create a new branch and call number 4 multiple cards. So this new branch has multiple cards. Let's first go to the first method, and the one that you should never use, to be honest, but I will show you just for learning purposes. Is literally copy, paste, and change the number. And if I go back, there you go. You can start seeing that each card is created with all the correct information. And see, this is mobile first, by the way. We know that in mobile it works. But we don't want to do that. Number 1, there is actually 12. And number 2, because this is the duplication of code and it goes against the policy or policies. So I will delete these ones and actually will show you the correct way. And what is the correct way? This is the first time that we're going to use the map function. So how do we do it? It's quite simple. I will create a new variable that will hold all the cards at the same time. And I will create a constant called cards, plural. Remember, focus on this S, plural. And it will be equal to information.map. This is one functional programming. And remember that the map basically takes for each element of this each array, it will pass it and will allow it to run code inside a function. So in this case, I would say each item inside of my information array item arrow function, and I will say return a card component with information, with the data based on the item. So let's go back and read this line of code. We're creating a constant called cards, plural, that is making basically a glorified or a fancy for loop. And for each item of in the array, is creating a copy of the card. So let me show you this in the old school way. This will be a for e equals 0, e less than information dot len e plus plus. And I will say, for example, I will need to create a cards will be an array, and I will say cards dot push, and I will push inside this. I will push a card, and the data will be information. The data will be information I, the index. So basically, this will achieve a similar result, but this actually is quite worthy, and this is the old way. This works, but this is how you're supposed to write in the React world. So this is the modern way with functional programming. It's shorter and it's easier to debug and so on and so forth. So this is the way that you should do it. But for now, let's focus on the, sorry, not for now, because we're actually going to use this method. And to put it on the screen, you don't do this. You don't do this because cards is not a component. It's an array of components. So in this case, because we want to pass the array of components, in this case, we're going to use curly braces and do cards. If I reload the page, and now I can see every single video being rendered. So nice. But if I open the console, I'm pretty sure that I will get a warning right now. And let me show you which one. Well, I saw a couple of warnings. But right now, I want to see. Oh, and by the way, each one is making a console log. So I will actually delete this one because we know that it's working. And I can delete this console log here as well because we know that it's working as well. And look at this one, this warning. It says each child. One second, let me delete this one. This said this. I have two errors, one error and one warning. The warning says ID is assigned but never used in line 7.5, line 7. So because I haven't used the ID yet, I can delete it and I can reload the page. And this one, I will explain that quite later. This is the not real. I will explain this one later. But this one, let's focus on this error. It says, warning, each child in a list should have a unique key prop. What is happening? Because we are creating an array list, we need to actually tell React which order of the cards. Even if we actually have the cards are rendered in the correct order, React just did it because it wasn't a sequential. But if you actually you start sorting your items by alphabetical order, then React will lose the index of, and will lose track of which one was supposed to be the first item. So React is telling you, please help me, tell me which one is always going to be the first item. So we can pass an ID, a special ID called the key. And we actually have a unique inside. If we go back to our project JSON, we see that we have a unique identifier. So we have a way to actually identify each card as a unique one. We cannot use the channel name because we have a couple of videos that are from the same channels, but we have the ID that is supposed to be unique always. So we can trust in the ID one, passed from your backend developer, and we can say, my unique key ID base will be the item, and to access the ID inside the item is item.id. So if I go and reload the page, this error message disappears.
So now it always renders in ascending order based on the ID.
Yeah. Right now we don't have any functionality at all to manipulate the order. But number one, in a couple of seconds we're going to start making grids, and then there is no top to bottom, and there is left to right. Number two, you can add drag and drop functionality to reorder the items. So you can start playing around with the list, and you cannot always expect that the list is in the same order as you as a developer expected. So React is telling me, this shit is getting out of control. I really need help to keep track of stuff. So please tell me how to identify each card as a unique item. So we can identify it as a unique item. So you say, you say back to React, okay, I will help you with that. Locally, the JSON file that I have a unique ID. What happens if for some reason the ID doesn't exist? I know that you can see that here, but imagine that I just deleted in every single one, and you don't have that information. You could be able to hack a similar solution by using index, and you will see something. You can pass index. This index is the equivalent in the for loop. It's basically in the for loop is the famous I. So you can actually pass the index here. But notice what will happen if I put this index. It's working. Oh, it's actually working. But sometimes React actually complains that the index is not reliable enough, and because if you sort the items, the index can get out of, if you delete items, the index can get out of bounds and so on and so forth. So my tip is to actually do a combination of for example, the video item title dash index. So I'm basically trying to create a unique name, but usually you will not encounter this one. But just in case, you can build something random. Another way to actually create a unique key is to create basically a date, because even if you actually create it during the loop, there will be a milliseconds difference on the creation date. So the intention is just to try to pass something really unique. But in this case, item.id is good enough. Item.id. Yeah.
Sorry. So what happens is we're passing cards as an object now, right? But what if you pass it as a JSX? Could you try that and see if it breaks?
Sorry, if I pass to what?
So you notice that in the return statement we have cards as an object. So can we try to pass it as a JSX and see if it breaks?
Of course it will break, but yeah, let me show you. Yeah. In fact, you can see if I pass a mouse, it's an array of JSX elements. So let me just to test it out, I will do that. This.
So what is the invalid string? Okay.
The error is it got a composite components but got an object because this one is not a this is not a component. This is an array of components. So you cannot use the tag notation because it's not this is not a component. This is an array of components.
Okay.
Yeah, you literally what we're doing here, basically what we're doing here, the result of this one is basically an array of sorry, autocomplete. Of course, you need a comma in an array. This is basically this cards array.
I have a stupid question.
Yeah, don't worry. Nothing is stupid.
Yeah, but it's just something that's sort of bothering me. Is JSX smart enough to get rid of the block brackets on that array, the cards array? Because technically, it's the example you just showed. It's technically block brackets with a bunch of objects in it. Mm-hmm. But when we have it there on line 16, it is a JSX feature that sort of gets rid of the block brackets around the array, so it knows only to use the component objects. Does that make sense?
If I recall correctly, if I understand correctly, you're trying to ask me if these card components are wrapped up inside one tag or floating around.
Well, they, from what I understand, obviously, like on line 9, cards is an array.
Yeah.
And an array has block brackets around it. And we're passing that array in on line 16. So if we would have written it manually, it would have been block brackets and then object, comma, object, comma, object, comma.
Exactly.
is JSX smart enough to get rid of the block brackets and the commas?
Of course, because remember, the difference between HTML and JSX is that JSX has logic, and the logic will be compiled back to normal HTML. So to answer
Okay.
that question, let's open the console and let's inspect the element. I will go to full screen. I know that the website will look ugly for a second, but the priority is to see the HTML here. So let's go. I will put this one side by side. And let's explore the element. We have the div root. This is the app. This is where we actually, this app is this one actually, literally, app. And inside the app, we have the H1 title, and you can see it. Article, 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 and there is nothing between. This is pure HTML.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So yeah, we just created, and there is, of course, there is no block. If you actually edit HTML, look, I can modify the HTML literally. If I put this one, the curly brace, and after finish the, let me say that the article finish here, yeah, and I put a comma. If JSX will be not smart enough, you will literally see a left bracket here and a comma around here.
Mm.
So yeah, JSX is smart enough to take it out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, remember,
Thanks.
this will be rendered at the end. Remember, your browser doesn't understand JSX. So at the end, React needs to convert this to normal HTML.
Okay.
So yeah, that will happen behind the scenes for you. So don't worry about that. So okay, now we have, let's go back to our project. Now we created multiple cards. We did the example in the dirty way, by literally copying and changing the index. Then we did the old school for loop. And I know that I never put it on the screen, but basically, I want you know that it was gonna work. And then we stay with the map function. And before a break, we're gonna make the header real quick. So for the header, we're gonna create a new component called header, new file, header.jsx. And I will put, because this is a secondary component, I will put it on the right. And remember, we start by import React. From React. This is my comment, React core. So I know which libraries are mine and which ones are from the React project. And I do export default function header. There you go. And the header will return, well, of course, it will return a header because this is my header tag. Perfect. And then I will do the cheat again, just 1 second. And we're gonna copy this one inside my header. No, before I copy it, I will just put it basically on the screen. I will say H1 React 2. There you go. So this is my component card. It's quite basic, nothing fancy at all. And I will import it into the app component. So in my components, I will also import header. I actually can go in alphabetical order. So from components / header JSX. You don't need to write .jsx because we are inside JSX. React is smart enough to understand that this is a JSX file. In fact, if you actually pass the mouse over here, you can see that this is a JSX element. So yeah, you don't need to put the JSX extension. So I will import the header. I can remove this H1 tag, and I will put this one here, header. So just now that we can see one tag and one curly brace, remember this is a component, and this is a variable that is an array of components. So that's why we don't use the curly braces. The tags, and we use the curly braces syntax. These two are totally different. This is a component that you can literally see on the right, and this is an array based on this particular component. So this is why we use a different syntax, because we're achieving different goals. So let's see how this looks on the screen. And we have a title. It's not designed, but it's working. Now we can focus on the adding the tags to make it look nice. So I will put it here. And now we can copy the code here. I want to replace this one. I want to explain when. This one, our little friend called link appears once again. And again, for now, we forgot about link. Remember, link is related to the React router. We're gonna mention the React router later, but link is an enhanced anchor tag. So because it's we can actually, for now, use this one, these syntaxes. And this one will also change to, I will copy this comment. I will come back literally today to change these link tags to the from A to link, because if I use link, it will break the project right now. And the reason it will break it is because we haven't created the link component. So maybe you ask, where does this link component come from? We need to install a package called React Router DOM that comes with this particular link component. But we're going to do that in a later step. So for now, we have a class named header. And if we go back, it's throwing an error that we don't have defined the logo light. Okay, and we can see the logo light here is any, because React doesn't know what the hell is logo light. So that means that we need to import asset or media assets. And now we're going to import the logo. So we're going to say logo light, import logo light from assets. By the way, why I don't use dot notation is because I'm inside the folders component, and the only elements inside the folder components are car and header. So to escape this folder and go one level up, I use the double dot notation, double dot. So I press double dot slash, and that means I go one folder up. Now I can go assets slash images slash, and it's called logo light.svg. Tomorrow we are gonna play around with the dark version of the logo, so we can change the color of the header bar according to the situation. And if I can go back, perfect. Now we have the header, and the header is perfectly positioned. We know that in desktop looks ugly, but in mobile looks nice. So we actually complete this step of the header. Perfect. We're about to take a break, but let's see how are we on the project right now. Let's go back to our finished site, and the first thing that we can see is we definitely need the grid component. If we go to the responsive mode in this one and enter iPhone 8. Oh, by the way, if you double click, you can rotate your virtual device. This is quite nice. But if we compare our site to the finished site, go to iPhone 8, they look quite similar. There is some margin issues, but so far they are quite similar. So far so good. But let me see what else are we missing. And for that, we will go back to this one. Let's see what we built so far. We have built the app, JSX, but we never built the app component. We went straight from the app to the header, JSX, and car JSX. So this is what we actually just built right now. So that means that we just actually went out of course. So we need to fix this. By the way, we paint this one because we want to say that this is a shared component. So this is what we are supposed to do, and this is where we are now. We are here now. So yeah, we are quite ahead. Forget about the video page. This is something that we're gonna do later as well. But this part of the branch is different. So that means that we need to refactor the project and put the home page. So let's do that before we take the break. Is that okay, or do we want to take a break now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, no, sorry, I only hear one person.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so what we are going to do is refactor, because before we explain it, why we need to refactor, we look at this problem. Let's look back at this website. Exit responsive mode. Forget about the design. Forget about the design right now. And let's go back to the chart. If you want to navigate between pages, that means that we need to actually have right now our app is the home page. This one is acting. This is acting as a home page. This is acting as a home page, but no, the app is only the container, and this one should be the home page, and this will be a separate element. And when we want to navigate between pages, we need to tell app to actually make the transition within the two. But if we have everything inside the app, that means that our project is totally disorganized. So we need to refactor by adding one intermediary between app and the header and the card, and this intermediary is the home page. So let's fix this. So let me show you what we are gonna do now. And let me create a copy. I will create a new component. We're gonna create a app.js. We are gonna create the header, the home page, sex. And then I will copy these two elements. No, I don't need to copy it. And I will use so header tsx and car tsx. And let me paint this one blue, because our components that are used only once per page, and this one is used multiple pages. So we are here. The final project is all of this. Let me just paint this one. Go back to. Hey, what happened? There we go.
Eduardo, you're breaking up very badly.
Oh, okay. That's the internet issue, and that's totally out of my control. Can you hear me now?
It's a bit better, yeah.
Okay, I will try to speak slower on purpose. Okay, but anyways, this is the project goal for today. Have this structure. We are here. That means that we need to do something to fix, and we're gonna start fixing it by doing this. We are gonna add a home page between the header and the card, so we can organize our project better. So
I'm not.
We're getting like every fourth word.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, Manu, since he's gone, tell me something. Like, if I tell you I want to write that cards over there in JSX, how would you do it?
It's
like,
really,
how would we do that? Because I mean, obviously, I get it that it's an object, right? But the issue is that, and it seems a bit naughty to put a bunch of objects just on the page. What if you wanted to do it individually?
It's the audio.
I think that's what we're going to do now in the homepage. I think, but you wouldn't write them individually ever. You would always use some sort of a loop to print them out.
Yeah, exactly. If you can hear me back again, yeah, that's why I actually showed you the dirty mother first before we actually did the map function. So you hear me better now? I cannot see.
Yeah, you're clear.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, this is unfortunately this is the features of the streaming. You cannot I cannot never guarantee a perfect connection is outside my scope. But anyway, I will explain this one more time, because I knew that you were having some issues. I was having some issues, sorry. So this is our project goal for today, but we are here now because we're building the home page inside the app.js, and that's not okay because we want to navigate between these two pages. We will not be able to. We're not if we try to build a video page here, you can see how disorganized this look. So to fix this, we're gonna do this now. We're gonna create an intermediary page called homepage, and we're gonna take out the elements from the app and put it inside here. So let's do that. And also, I hope that you saw read the articles about atomic design, because I know that it was not only once that I mentioned it. I mentioned it a couple of times. So we're gonna create a folder structure called atoms, molecules, and it's atoms, molecules, and organisms. Let me do it right now. It's folder. It's atoms. Atoms are for the small components like buttons. Organisms, molecules is for small components, but for example, the atom is for a button. A more complex element will be like a car, will be a molecule, and a navigation element, major blocks of navigation of sections of the website can be a more complex organism, like the header. And finally, we're going to have a template for the in this case, for the homepage. To visualize this, because I know that what I just did doesn't make sense if you did. Unless you read the article at least twice, this will not make sense. I actually made a graphical nice representation of this one. But I really hope that you actually read this article, because I will not explain what the concepts of each one, but you can see it. Atomic design applied to React. So we have the atoms as the smallest components. So for example, a single button, the avatar, the search button, the input. Then more complex elements like the molecules, as you can see in the icon, a molecule is a combination of atoms. So in this case, this one is an image with the avatar, the type with a couple of pieces of text. Metadata, you can actually, I haven't confirmed, but I think that I can refactor the project and make this one a separate component. The search bar is the fusion between the input and the search bar. The video player is another molecule. And then navigation parts of the page, like the header or the footer, are organisms. And finally, the home page itself is a template. And based on a template, you instantiate a page. So for example, if we are writing a blog, like a medium.com or Tumblr or anything, you don't create a JSX page for each article, for each blog post that the people write. You create an article page and then pass a JSON file or a Markdown file to render the particular instance. So I hope that you read this particular article. If not, read it once again, and then use this infographic as a reference, so you can see how I'm organizing the components folder and the CSS folder. So by seeing this graphic, you can see that I'm putting the car inside the molecule folder, and the header I'm putting inside the organism folder, and then the home page, I will put it inside the template folder. So let me see if I did that just right now. I did. The car now is inside the molecule, and the organism is inside the header is inside the organism, and this is a weird organism. This is not the only way to organize projects. I will share you a video later with a different opinion, and then will be up to you to choose which one you get more used to. My only recommendation is choose an organization style. One organization style is better than, I got a question yesterday, which organization style is the best? Each one has pros and cons, but what I can tell you is having an organization style is better than having everything in the same folder. So don't overthink about which folder structure is the best one. Having some structure is better than no structure at all. But anyways, let's create a new component called homepage JSX. And we play around again. Import React from React. Export default function homepage. There we go. And the homepage basically is everything that is inside the app. We have we can take out this information because we know that belongs to the homepage. Remember, we have this problem right now, and we need to put this to here. So we literally Command X cut, and I return. Oh, this makes a problem. This is super important. You can only return one tag, and so you need to wrap it up this in something. So in this case, I need to put it inside a div, and there you go. So this is something that I forgot to mention. You cannot return, if you do try to do this will make a mistake. JS expressions can only has one parent element. This error is meaning that you cannot return multiple tags at the same time. You need to return only one tag, and the tag can be a container for multiple tags. So to fix this, you just put you wrap it up everything inside a div or another semantic HTML tag like this one, and so on and so forth. For this one, just let me go back. I will create a div. Give me 1 second. I will create a div with a class name, homepage. And inside the homepage, I will put the header. Something important. I need to also cut. I need to take this information as well. I need the cards, so I need this one. You will realize that where is information. We're gonna pass the information as a prop in one moment. We need my components. I will need to re-import the components. App will need to import a homepage instead of cards. So this will be my React core, and this will be my components. So you see the double dot because I need to go outside templates. I will write this one, for example. If I put dot slash, I don't see anything because I'm inside the template folder. So I need to do double dot, and then I can see all my components folder, and I will go to car is in molecules / car. There you go. But you know that if I import this to the app, it will make a mistake because information doesn't exist here in this context. I need to pass information. So let's do that. And I can say this, I will add a comment just so you can have it. We render multiple components using map function. Just in case that somebody's confused about it, what is this about? Okay, so we need to pass the we need to import the component here and pass the prop. So let's import the components. Now we're going to import homepage. Import homepage from /components /templates /homepage. Perfect. And here I will put homepage. There you go. And if I put the homepage here on the right, just for 1 second, we need the information. So we need to pass information equal information. So we are passing the prop information here. Let's see if it's working. Header cannot resolve. Okay, the routes of the image become broken. Let's go back to the header, to the organism header. So let me see, because we were in a different folder structure. So I need to escape assets /images /logo light.svg. And there you go. And now we have a homepage. So we just refactor. Let me just enter responsive mode. So yeah, we just refactor the exit responsive mode. We just refactor the project from here to here. And the reason that we did it is because we want to start implementing the video page. To implement the video page, first we will need to install a library called React Router DOM. What does React Router DOM does? It literally allows to navigate inside between pages. Remember that, and we can go back to the card component. Remember that this one was a link tag. It was like this, link. If you click on the card component using a hyperlink, it will not work because React is a single page application. So there is no multiple index HTML files inside your project. So if, for example, if I go to the public, there is only one index. So the normal H tag will not work inside React components because there is no multiple pages to open to. So you need an enhanced version of the A tag called link to tell the machine, instead of navigating to a real different index HTML file or HTML file, what you're gonna do is instead of showing the homepage component, hide this component and show this component on the screen. So basically we're playing around by turning this on and off instead of changing pages, and that's why the performance appears so fast, because you're not downloading a new file from the internet. You're just turning this one off and showing this one. And we're gonna do that after the break. So we can continue after in 11:10. Is that okay? 15 minutes?
Eduardo, can I ask a quick question before we just break off? Would it be considered messy if we imported the information directly into the cards component instead of importing it into the app component and passing it as a prop?
You mean in the card or in the homepage?
Like at the moment, we're passing information into the app component, and then we're passing it as a prop down to homepage. So instead of doing that, would it be messy if we just import the information directly into the homepage instead of passing it as a prop?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the reason that I haven't done it in that way is because when we open the video page, I will probably need to have access to the same information, because remember, when you actually go navigate between, let me share the screen again, one second, sorry. So this will make more sense. Perfect. If you are in the home page and move to the video page, you lose the information, the state that if you import information here and you want to navigate to this file, the information inside this component is lost in this one. So you will need to import it again. And imagine if for some reason, instead of working on a static JSON file, we're working on a server, you can have you maybe has a synchronization issue because the data has changed. So the best way to be assured is that if we're going to manipulate the same data between these two different pages, that the common practice is that the closest parent to these two components should hold the information. That's why we are doing this nasty passing props between here. Let me put this information here, through here, and then to here to here. That's why.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no problems. So, okay, I can have 2 minutes for questions, and then we start officially back at 1:15, so we can actually have round numbers.
Okay, Eduardo, sometimes you import React, this import React from React to some particular file, but this app JSX doesn't have this import file. What does it mean? What this React import React
Good question.
does?
Good question. Let me share the screen and why. Let me open the project. Card molecular link is okay. First one, this error is because I'm trying. Remember, the link doesn't exist in our project right now, so I will delete the link. Perfect. Let me delete, for example, import React from card to see what is happening. Oh, actually, before this was a good practice to import React beforehand. But I think that it looks like in this one you are importing React from this one, and this one actually is giving the context to the in this one in app. And I know that I just broke whatever I just mentioned a couple of seconds ago. So let me go back to the beginning. In this one you don't import React because you are creating the component here, and this one will give you the information. Before it actually make actually a couple of versions ago in React, if you didn't import React here, it will throw an error that you cannot find the understand what is going on if you don't do the import. Right now it's working, so I will need to look at what is working. I have a suspicion that if I actually go back to JavaScript and I don't do the import, it will break. I think it's working because we are working on GXX extensions. But I will check it out on the break, and we'll answer that one right after the break. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Then see you at 11:15. Oh, there you go. So we're back in less than 1 minute. So, okay, we are back in. A small detail that let me share the screen. This is where we left off. We have this one. We refactor the homepage. So we were here now, and now we are here. So I can delete this one safely. And we need to actually reach this point. But from this point, it's easier to just add a page. Sorry, now it's 15 minutes. So this is what I'm gonna build now. But for now, let's go back to a small topic that was issued. Even if I have the homepage, I don't see the grid. And let's fix that real quick. So we are in the, let's fix that one. Let me close this branch because we were past the card. So let me just go do a quick merge. Merge, master. Git merge, I will create a new branch called the header. We forgot about the header. Create a branch for the header, but at least we'll make one for the homepage. And we're gonna fix this one, and it's quite easy. I only need to add a tag here in the homepage. The reason that we don't have a grid is because we actually never tell the machine to put some kind of grid for that one. So we're going to create a grid for that one quite fast. We're going to create a section here. Class name recommended. Let me see. And inside this one, I will have the cards and a title called recommended section. H2 recommended videos. So we can have new videos, favorites, and so on and so forth. And inside that, we're going to create a grid. So we're going to create a quick div, class name, grid. And inside the grid, we're going to put the cards. There you go. And if everything goes well, nice. So our homepage actually now started to look quite similar to the other one. So yeah, so far so good. So I will save this branch, homepage, and fix the homepage.
If your CSS is the same, why is the padding between each element a little bit different? If you like flick between the two, there's more space in the other one.
Aha, that's a good question. And remember that even if well, let me just put the 0 here and let me put the 0 here. Why the spaces are a little bit different? I copied the CSS, but yesterday I did a couple of I renamed some classes. I did a little bit of refactoring, and probably I made a couple of. I probably delete one line of code that I probably shouldn't have deleted because I saw a couple of repetitions, and I took the opportunity to actually improve it. But definitely by doing so fast, I probably missed something. So, but in any case, it's close enough. If I don't tell you which one is the new one, you will not be able to say which one is actually quite better. The only one that is actually quite bad is the margin bottom between these items. That I can add this one later.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
So the head, like the equivalent of the head for a React file, the React app up there, below localhost, like the tab head. Why I mean, like we could, like it felt like we were supposed to set that up in HTML first.
Yeah, let me see if I understand. You mean this component, right?
No, the head as opposed to header.
So oh, you mean the head, this one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
I mean, it's all configured, right? And that,
yeah,
that comes when you
create a React project. Yeah,
the React project. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that all comes configured. So you don't necessarily I was just thinking about like how it's still called React app and we haven't changed it to a specific name yet. But that's just changing the title. So it all comes configured.
Yeah, don't worry. React creates the set up the head just for a React project for you. So yeah, it's auto set up before you even start coding. So okay, with that out of the way, first of all, let's just like we were writing here, let's write the steps that we're missing. So we're gonna, now that we have create multiple cards, we also create the head, the homepage. That was step number 6 that we actually did before the break. And only right now, I only fixed the grid because I forgot to put to wrap it up the cards inside a div, so we can run the grid CSS code. So what are we gonna build now? First, we're gonna build a quick video page. I will use this one as create a video page. The ones in bold are already done. The ones in not bolded are the ones that are pending. So we're gonna create a video page because we have the home page, the video page. We also have the search page, but we're gonna leave that for tomorrow. After that, if we want to navigate between these two pages, we need the React Router DOM. So we're gonna do the install React Router DOM. And once we install the React Router DOM, we start adding the route, adding router links. This is the ones that we were seeing at the beginning of the project, so on and so forth. So as you can see, we are actually quite ahead. We have 6 points already done, and these ones are the ones pending. So let's get started. Let's gonna create in a template. We're gonna create a video page, new.
Eduardo, can I ask you something quickly?
Yeah.
Sometimes in a tag, class name is just with a double quotation, but sometimes with curly braces and double quotations.
Can you show me, for example, in which?
The header.jsx.
Header JSX. Yeah, here. What? Yeah.
Yeah, here the header class name and curly braces and a double quotation header.
Oh yeah, you don't need that one.
Why?
Yeah.
No, don't need it. Okay.
But okay, I will explain why we actually have it. Yeah, let me show you why. If you're gonna pass that's a question. Congratulations. If you are going to only pass a class name as a simple, you are gonna pass a simple class here. You use double quotations. But imagine that you actually want to create something dynamic in React. For example, let me show you. Okay, I will show you a nice example for this one. SDA project. Oh, I don't have it right now. But anyways, imagine that you want to make the links active or not. You can pass a variable here, and actually the reason that you can see the curly braces is because I was passing a. Oh yeah, I can show you for here. Forget about that one. Here, when you go dark, and this is why it's actually in the header, by the way. Do you see that the header becomes dark?
Yeah, black. Yeah, dark.
Yeah, because the curly brace, without curly braces, you're only passing the single CSS file class. But if you put the curly braces, you can put a space plus, and this one will be colored. I will save it. Color is not defined, but I can create constant color.
So you can change it dynamically.
Exactly, and we're gonna see that one tomorrow, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why that was because I'm copy pasting code due to time. But That's because we want to play around with the colors later so we can pass variables inside the class names. And you can
Okay.
apply these effects for multiple stuff. So for example, in this case, we can change the color of the bar. We can change the color of the buttons. You see, sometimes you have buttons that are green, blue. You can pass a variable color depending on the situation. So if you have a danger button or a delete button, you can pass a variable called context. And if the context is danger, the button will become red. If the context is success, the button will become green, and so on and so forth. So that's why we have the color braces. So it allows me to put a variable next to the CSS classes.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna see that one tomorrow. Don't worry. That's an extra one because I didn't want to explain about the color braces yet, but because I made the mistake of copy pasting the code, yeah, that was it. But nice catch. To be honest, I didn't notice at all. Header. So okay, let me delete this one, and we're gonna create a video page. And again, I didn't have time to research about the import one. I will own you that one, Kaori, because this one, I remember last year, if you didn't do that, this particular part, as soon as you created the function, React was throwing undefined. So yeah, I will need to research why it's working now without this import. But I use it in my own practice until I'm 100% sure why it's not necessary anymore. So in any case, I will import React and I will say exporters default function video page, and perfect. And here I will say something real quickly, just to know that it's working. Return. I will say deep class name video page. And this is not the real video page yet, so I will say just a video page. There you go. To test it out, I will go to the app. Let me go to the app. And here I will import a video page from components, templates, video page. Perfect. If I do this, this will be a disaster because you're literally making the video page below that. So for now, I will just comment this one out so I can start designing. So now what I just did right now is we're here. We want to reach here, and we're just did is delete this one and replace it for video page. We don't want to do that. We want to do this. So my internet is slow again. Can you hear me clearly? Because I got an error message
Your
right
voice
now.
is cutting
No,
again.
your voice is breaking. Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
voice is cutting again.
yeah. Sorry for let's wait for a couple of seconds. Can you hear me now clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got an error message right now that the internet wasn't unstable, but yeah, that's totally out of my control. And it's quite weird because there is not many people in Cotejo right now, to be honest. But in any case, right now we literally, as you can see it, if we go back to our chart, what I just did is delete this one and replace it with a video page. Yes, so this is bad because we were making a lot of progress and then we just go back. But for now, I will only do it so we can style the page. Once I finish doing the design of this page, I will make the real way to actually do the transition between one page to another. So first, let me focus on the design, and then I will go back to the correct way to switch between pages. So let me open the video page. And the video page is quite complex, to be honest. And let me see it. Oh, the video page also have a header, so I need to import the header. I will put this one as core, React core. We need our header, and we're gonna put the header. There you go. So perfect, now we have our header. And that was perfect for the, imagining in the Cupcake website, if we can, the four web pages can share the header. This is one benefit of React. You just create the header once and you utilize it each time that you want. And if you make one change here, it will reflect in both pages at the same time. So that's quite cool. So let's keep going. And I will copy a lot of text. Don't worry about that. I will explain what I'm going to do literally right now. So, whoa, a lot of content appear on the screen. So let's go super quick to explain it. First, I have a div to actually stylize the video. You can see this the HTML tag called video. This property called control allows you to actually have the play and the play bar. Otherwise, the videos will appear like a GIF. Literally, you will see the video, but you cannot control it at all. So this one actually gives you the user interface. The source is basically the URL of the video. And let me pass information so we can actually make it work. So because right now we'll start breaking. Yeah, everything is undefined. So let's pass the information. This one in video page. Just give me 1 second. Information. Yeah, let me pass information. Information. Right now, it will be information. I will right now. I don't know which video the user clicked. So right now we're gonna, just so the project doesn't break, I will pass the first item. So we're going back like when we were making the first card. So I was passing only the first item in the array. So in this case, I will pass information, and I will destructure this one as I will pass this one here. I will destructure this information into the variables, so we don't need to use the notation. Information. So let me see if it's working. Link is not defined. Don't worry about the link. We're gonna fix this one later. And the href. There you go. Perfect. So perfect. Now, unfortunately, each time is opening the same video, so the user cannot click on another video yet. But as you can see, our video page is designed. And our video page is composed of the header, the video container. Now that we have the design, we can go back and compare. This video container is basically this border, black border. This is a design to copy it as close as YouTube. Inside the video, in this case, you can see the square one. I will put it a little bit further, so you can see this is the video container outside, and inside this is the video control. And if I remove controls, you lose the user interface. So that's why. And this is the URL of the video. Remember, we're manipulating this JSON. That's so on and so forth. And then everything is just passing props and a couple of designs. So you actually can now I know that you are confident in CSS enough. So this one, I don't need to explain it. This is something that you can, is a title, text, organize it, align it, flexbox, blah, 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 button, that's it. But the problem is, right now, if I want to go to the home page, I need to switch between back and forth. And now I can, now the page reload. But right now, I need to do this. This is quite annoying to do that. You could even create a variable like a Boolean to switch about that and create a button that if you press a button, I will switch it back and forth. But that's hacking, and we don't want to do that. The correct way to switch between these two components is to use the React router. So right now, we are here. We have these two. We have the video page, ESX, video page ESX, and we have a header ESX. And to be honest, last year I didn't break it down video page further, but we know that now that we are seeing these concepts, we can probably know that the video player can be further break it down in components. I don't have it right now, but you get an idea. I'm gonna paint this one purple, so we know there is a shared component. But we know something that we are here, and it looks like it's the same as here. But we know that we actually have this, because we have this totally. We can choose either to go to this side, or we can go to this side. We don't have a way to switch to smoothly switch between the two pages. So how do we fix that? We are gonna create a new branch. This one, sorry, I will close this branch. Is added the video page. Unfortunately, I created a video page inside the home branch. That's on me. I really wanted to go with the plan and create one branch for each one, but I literally forgot one. But I will create a branch for this one and this one. So in any case, added the video page inside the homepage branch. In any case, I will close this branch. Terminal git branch. No, git merge. Let me go back to master. And if I go back in time to the master branch, we'll see how the project breaks down. If I go back, yeah, this is the master. It's super old and updated. So let's update it to git merge says home. So now the master is up to date, but it's on this one. So let's create a new branch, and the new branch will be called number. Let me see which number was. We're at number 8. We created this one, so we're gonna create a router, a new branch just for the router. So branch number 8, router. And how do we install the router? Simple. We open Google and React router. The first part is reactrouter.com. This is the page. Let's go to documentation, web. And this is the command, npm install react router.com. So we open a terminal window. Oh, my God, this is so big. Okay, so I will create a new, let me clear the terminal. And you do npm install react. I will actually copy paste because I don't want to have a spelling mistake. So you do npm install react router.com. So this will actually we'll add, while we actually install the package, I can explain what is going to happen. It will add React router as a list of dependencies inside my project. So we're gonna see another one called React router DOM that is different from the React DOM. I know that the names are confusing. I'm gonna update my table of names that are so similar that it should be different because people are stupid. I will update that table so to differentiate between React DOM and React router DOM. React DOM is the part of the React that makes the performance so fast by, you can see that it becomes updated in real time. So this one takes care of making React update the JavaScript DOM so fast by creating a build for copy and only make optimizations there. This one takes care of the navigation elements. So sound quite similar, but they're quite different. But I will update my table of stupid names just to give you more insights about this one. In any case, we can see that our project our dependency is done, and we're gonna delete both video page and home page for now. And let's see what we're going to do. I really hope that you saw the React router video, because if I actually explain line by line what we're going to do, it's gonna take a lot of time. But in any case, I'm gonna wrap it up my entire project inside a special tag, a special component called router. Let me show you right now. This is the component that we just literally just installed, router. And what that means is it will tell the machine that everything inside this tag is gonna be treated as it will be under the control of the React router element. Right now, as soon as I compile, it will show me an error because router is not defined. I need to import this one. So again, I will do React core. Remember, this import, I'm not 100% sure that we needed to do it, but I just do it. I'm doing only literally muscle memory. But this import, the second import I'm doing right now is the one for the router. So in this case, I will do import. And something cool that we can do it in JavaScript is name imports. So actually the real name of the component is called browser router. Browser router. So this should be actually called browser router, but you can actually rename it on the fly by saying, and this is the common practice. This is how even React Router actually recommended to do it, and you can name it as router. So you can have a shorter name, and you import this from React Router. Remember, there is a difference between these two. So now, so far, your project doesn't. Well, it should actually work. So it's trying to load. Okay, this one is gonna probably, it's working, but nothing happens because we haven't set up anything. The div by itself is empty. This only tells that everything inside the router is inside the React Router control. Now we are gonna import another component called switch. And the switch itself is the one that takes care of switching between pages. That's the one called switch. Again, I don't even need to open the page to show you that React will break because we haven't. Oh, it actually imported for us. Nice. I didn't write this one, right? So yeah, this one was an auto import. Okay, React auto imported. And now, how do we actually put my home page on my video page? Let's do it. You need to import a final component called route. And route is the one that actually takes care of every time that you change the URL by adding a slash something. React will do the same thing that we were doing a couple of minutes ago. That I was commenting this one, so I can show this one, and then I was commenting this one, so you can show the other one. But imagine if you have 10 pages, you cannot handle it by hand anymore. So you need the React Router to do this transition between this switch between the pages for you. So let's add a route right now. Let's add a route for the home page. Route. And we're gonna say which path, we're gonna have a parameter called path. And the path will be, if I say slash, if this is equivalent of it's equivalent of saying that any route that doesn't match, this is the default destination, and this will be the designated for the home page. So what we are gonna do is to render a component. So I'm gonna say render, and we're gonna render a component. No, actually, let me show you a quick way in case that you only do small projects. You can actually say component and say the component, and now you can pass the home page as a component. There you go. And you can copy this one and change it to video page. And there you go. This one will be for the video page. And this one I'm gonna break, and I will explain why. Everything is working, but it's breaking. What is happening? We haven't passed the props. Remember, the home page and video page needs the information prop. So how do I pass the props? I cannot use the component way to do that. If I need to pass props, I need to use another way to do the route. So instead of using the component, we're gonna use another way called, and let me delete this one. We're gonna use one called render. And render allows me to pass an arrow function. And in the arrow function, I will say arrow function equal, and now I can pass a tag, home page. And here I can just pass my prop, information equal information. So this is what is happening. The path is for the for my normal URL. This is the route that will happen. And then which components should I render when I find this link, this URL? I will render a home page. And remember, I'm using this method because I needed to pass props. So now it's working. Perfect. Now I will add one additional line, and this is called exact. This will give the priority to this particular one when we have multiple routes. There is a better explanation in the video, so please go watch the video. So for more detail about this one, I will not explain this one in detail right now because you need to watch the video. Otherwise, it will be a disservice to the people that actually spend the 40 minutes watching the other video. So I will create the other route for the video page, and let's do it. Path, and the path will be slash video. I will say video. I don't need to say video page. I will say that the video page, and then I will say render arrow function, because remember that we need to pass the props as well. I will say render arrow functions. There you go. Video page. And I think that we were talking about information was equal. I'm pretty sure that it was information, but we were passing right now the first index, right? Something like that. And let's see if this is working. This URL doesn't exist, so we can actually, if you watch the video yesterday, you can see how to handle these particular scenarios in case that nothing matches. So right now it's working. I know that we haven't used the link yet to actually click these ones, but if everything goes well, and I click, and I go /video, I can enter the video page. That means that we are starting to make links between these ones. So this one is working. Congratulations, we are almost done. What we actually need to finish the project is that each time that you click on the card, I will not use this arrow. I will use another arrow. To finish this project, we only need to tell that each time you use a card, you can go from each time you click the card, you go to the video page. So this part for now is done. Let's do that in the card element. Let's add the famous links that we were missing a couple of hours ago. But because we just finished this one, and I will not forget this time, I will create another branch for this one. So now the router is installed and is working, even if we cannot click on even if I cannot click here as well, by the way. You know that the React router is working because I can navigate the URL manually. So you know that it's working. But before adding the links, let's add something. Okay, this one is, I don't know what is happening here. Anyways, let's focus on this one. If I do a slash and I put video, you can see something special that you can see the number 1 and number 2, number 3. Right now, in the app, we are passing the hard code value, but we don't want to do that. We want to, based on the URL, we want to actually to change which information item to pass. So let's fix that one right now. To fix that one, and we're going to do it inside the router branch because this belongs to the router instead of to the links. Let me add a comment here. Install it. The router link. The React router. React router. Perfect. So let's do that. First of all, you can in the finished project. To be honest, let me just see 1 second why it's not working. This one. Let me maybe go to the homepage. Okay. I don't know what happened. If you click on in any video, let me go for this one. you can see that not only I go into the video page, but I can change the ID, and based on the ID, the video goes. If I go to the first video, the ID is 1. So in addition to change the page, I need to read the URL. So use this item as a variable, and based on that, modify the render a different element of the information array. So let's do that. Here in the video, to read this variable, to read this part of the URL as a variable, you use the double colon syntaxes. In this case, I will say ID. And to be able to read this ID inside the video page, I will use another command called another prop called match. So I will do it here. I will say match, and match will be basically this ID. I will call it match again. But where is this value coming from? This is calling. I'm passing a prop, but this prop is coming from nowhere. I literally need to tell the machine, take this value and pass as a prop. And how do I do it? Again, inside the arrow function, I can literally destructure this one. Inside the render, I can just destructure this one and say match. And what it's doing is, as soon as we reach this path video and we find the 2 columns, React Router knows that this is a variable, and I will get it inside the render component. I will destructure this one. This will become match, and now I can use it inside my component, match one. You can see more information about that one in the video. That's why I will not answer questions about this one, because I told you yesterday, watch the video about React Router done. But at the end, I will be able to answer questions about this topic if there is something that we need to clarify. But right now, to see if this is working, I will go delete this one, because we don't need to hard code the value. We just need to pass the entire information. And inside the video page, we're going to do some changes right now. I will go back to video page. And now in video page, I not only receive information, now I also receive, remember, let me put this one side by side. Remember, we are passing 2 props, information and match. So I will need to add match as well. There you go. And I will create a new console log just to debug a little bit, and console log. And I say video page. So we know that we're in the video page component, just like we were doing on the beginning. And then we want to focus on the match, because we want to see that the match is working. So we'll set another console log, match, and comma, and see if I can grab the match information. And now we know that this one is not anymore an object. We know that this one, we are passing the entire information array. So we know that this one will not work right now. So for now, we are gonna say equal match, because we are expecting that this is a number. So let's see if this is working. And if it's not, we are gonna debug it real time. So we go to our project. We're gonna say video page, video /1. And saying right side cannot be deconstructor. And I think it's because I'm trying to say the 0. Let me see. And it's working, perfect. Yeah, I cannot pass a variable yet. Let me open the console. So far it's working. Let me go to the console log. And match, it returns, it says match. Okay, the parameter is the ID. So, okay. You can see that match is an object, and a match has a parent that is another object, and then ID is the value. So let me debug this one in more details. Let me see it. Match.params, perfect, and .id. So let me see if that is true. Yeah, match is 1. If I reload the page and I say 5, yeah, you can see the match is 5. So we know that this one is working, and if everything goes well, we can pass this one here. This is quite dirty. We're gonna probably refactor this one into a variable right now, but let's say, and yes, you can change videos right now. So this one is the Skyfall video, number 5. If I put 10, this changes. So you can see that our router links, our React router is working. Now, I usually don't like to have this kind of blob of dot code. So let's create another constant and say video ID. Oh no, match ID equal match.params.id. So we can just, this is a more refactoring. It's only so we don't do a mess of a project, but this is gonna probably work anyways. There you go. Yeah, it's working. So we can forget about the console logs. We are cleaning our code. Perfect. And now our video page is working. Now, if we go back to our project, we have done all of this so far. We only need to add the router links. So when we are on the home page, let me go to this one. So we are on the home page, we can click from here and go to any of these videos. And when I click on the header bar, I go back to this one. And when I click on the back button, so we are about to finish for today. And we're actually not bad of time. So let's create a new branch. I will create a commit, and in this commit will say added the match property to the video page, so we can read the URL as a variable, because this is what is happening. You want to see more information about that one, you go to React router DOM and go to the match. The match command is around here. Use root match. You will be able to read more information about this one. This is what literally we just did. So you can read more information here, or watch the video that I told you yesterday. So in any case, let's continue. Let's go back to the, oh, this one doesn't work, yes. That's why it doesn't do anything. And we're gonna do that. So now we finished the router branch. We'll go back to the master. We do a git merge. 8 was called router. We see the information that we just did. And let me go back to the router. I think I never pushed this one. I will push it to the server. Push. There you go. Let me go back to the master and create a new branch. And this one will be 9. I will say links, but I don't want to confuse you with normal links, so I will say router links, link, just so avoid any confusions. Yes, let me go back real quickly. So router links, just like this one. Perfect. I will close my terminal. Now we are in the router link. And we know that the elements that we need to do is to modify our card and header. So we're going to do that at the same time. So how do we import the card? We need to do import link from React router DOM. Actually, machine tries to understand that one. And we need to do the same on the header, React router DOM. And here we're going to change this one from a normal link to a router link. I'm going to change this one.
Can we pause for a second again, because you're dropping out?
Yeah, let's give it 1 second. Can you hear me now? Doesn't-
There's definitely
Yes.
a delay.
Yeah,
It's
let's
better.
go. Let's
No,
wait.
it's working again.
Ta- Can you hear me now? No, still not. This is the internet is fucking atrocious here. Can you hear me now?
It's quite bad, I guess.
It's quite bad. Yes. Let's give me 1 second.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, we can give it a go, I guess.
Yeah. Can you hear me now clearly?
Nope.
Yeah. So, yep, let's wait.
To get yourself a Starlink satellite and beam your internet to yourself from the sky.
Yeah, it's quite shitty. Hello, Bjorn. Yeah, the internet is quite shitty sometimes at random. But can you hear me now, or is it still broken?
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Oh, Bjorn, I'm in class. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm still broken, or is better?
It's better.
It's better.
It's better. Okay. So okay, let's go back, and I will repeat the last step. Don't worry. So let me
No,
just.
it's not again.
Oh. Well, let's wait 1 more minute. I don't know what is happening with the internet right now today. It's so shitty. Everybody's having problems with the. Yeah, we have problems with the voice. I don't know why. It's still broken?
You're still freezing, I guess. So it's not better.
Let me see what we can do. Option number 1 will be write comments like crazy in each step that we're gonna do, because we are so close to finish. It's so bad. It's so bad that the internet went wrong right now. So let me see. Well, I will submit chat right now. Better. No, better now. Breaking again. By the way, I love one comment. We come back after lunch break. Let me just put in the chat. We are. Still broken? Yes, no? Guys, can you hear me, or is it still broken?
We can hear you. There's just a bit of a delay, it seems.
And your screen keeps on freezing every now and again.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Oh. Okay, so let's try to wrap it up, this one real quick before the audio is broken. So let's repeat. I will go again. I'll close this chat window. So to add the links, let me go back to the normal, just what it was before. Okay, so to add the clickable links, don't worry about that one. So add the clickable links here. I need to import. Let's see, import link. Import link from React Router DOM. And because we're gonna do the same in the header, we can copy and paste. Next step is replace the normal links that were put as a placeholder. Oh, fuck, it's broken again. This one here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, There we go. Mhm. And instead of using href, because we are using React Router, we use the command to. And in this case, we want to say video slash, and I need to add the parameter that I deleted before, ID. And this route matches the one in the app. Let me just give me 1 second. So you can see in the app, we have a path called video slash ID. So this one, these two replicates the functionality, this video slash ID. Again, the path video slash ID link to video slash ID. So there you go. Let's test it if this is working. I reload the page. Let me see what happened. The link to maybe something wrong to my tag, something image class name. Oh yeah, no, the image. Just give it 1 second until the image reload. If I click this one, I go to the video number 2.
Your voice is breaking again, Iraja.
Just 1 second. In real time. So if I go back and go back to this one, we can see that the videos are working. I'm gonna see why the IDs are different. Just give me 1 second to check that one. So video 1. Sorry, video doesn't go anywhere. So let me see why the video IDs are not working. Okay. The reason that the video IDs are not working is, just give me 1 second, in the video page. The video ID, Alicia Keys, the video 1 is video ID 1. Okay, just give me 1 second. ID. This one is video ID 3. Okay. Just give me 1 second. First of all, let me add the link as well here in this one, and I will put this one to link to sorry, slash. This one is the equivalent of up to this one. So in the header, if I click here, now I can go back and forth. And I will add this one as well. So I'll go to video page. This one equal to this one. Perfect. So if I reload the page, perfect. I go back. Now, so far, the only thing that we need to see is why is this one, the video ID, even if the video ID is working, the videos are different. So let me just see something like that.
I think it's because it's
the
not
index.
Exact.
Sorry?
I don't think you have the link as exact. So the exact property.
Oh, let me see in which one?
Render exact.
In which component first to visualize?
Like in the home or in the app component where we go to the video path, doesn't that need to be exact as well?
No, the exact keyword only is for the So when you want to give a priority to which one should be like the home. So that's only
Yeah.
for the.
Yeah, I get that, but like for the video one, if we don't have that, there isn't going to try and match the first part of video.
Actually, let me debug. I don't think that's the situation, but let me debug. Let me open video page and see what match. Let me do console log match and console log information. For me, it's more than the index base because remember that the index are base zero base and the match is based on the ID that we have in the information. Remember, we start at index 1 and the arrays are zero base index. So for me, the problem is probably there. So I will debug it like that first. Video page. But otherwise, we can try something else. Just let's debug it. So here, I open the inspect element. So perfect. We have the header. Yes, we have a problem in the header. Just give me 1 second. For this one, ignore this one. For now, this one will be linked to. We don't have the search page yet, so we'll send them to the home for now. And because I have this one working, I will say fix this later. Fix this tomorrow. Perfect. And now we have this one clear. If I click in this one, we're in video page. My ID is 1. And my video 1 is music and Alicia Keys. Okay. Let me see what is happening in the code. Match ID. Oh, let me actually also console log match ID after this one. And also do console log information match ID. So console log like crazy. So this is the parameters. This is the object array. Index 0 is Alicia Keys. The object that is taking one is ID 2. Let me see if I go to confirm the index out of bound theory. I go to this one, and this should be the last one. Let me clear the screen. If my theory is correct, if I click on the last video, I will probably throw an index out of bounds error. Yep. So it was index-based problem. So match ID, it will be -1. There you go. This is Alicia Keys. And this is the last one. So let me repeat what was happening. The internet is slow again. The reason that we were seeing different videos is because I'm passing an ID that starts from 1 and the arrays start from 0. So that was the problem. Quite easy to debug. So, fuck, internet is so slow. The internet. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't know why the internet is so shitty today, to be honest. This is something not common on Cotejo, to be honest, and especially when there is nobody here, actually, almost nobody. But okay, we just finished the tutorial for today. I think that the last step that we need to do is actually to say fix a bug, fix the bug in video page due to 0 base index, and I will do a merge, and I will merge this project, git merge router link, and there you go. And I will push the router link branch as well to master, to the server. But yeah, this concludes the first half of the tutorial. We're going to continue the second part tomorrow. I know that there's probably a lot of questions, so I'm willing to do a small follow-up lecture, and maybe at 2 o'clock if you are okay. So you can answer questions about these ones. But for now, let's hope that we can upload this video as fast as possible. If you have any more questions, we can have 5 more minutes. All depends on the internet speed. If not, we're going to wrap it up and start uploading the video as fast as possible.
Very small question.
Yeah.
So here we are using a link in curly braces, import link.
Import link. Yeah. Okay, that's a nice question. Yeah, let me go to the master one. Yeah. For example, in this one, we can see that React is directly, and this one is the in curly braces. And what is that? That's the question, right?
Yes, that's the question.
Of course. Yeah. Importing with this one, it means that you're importing the main. I can give you a link to a more a better explanation without errors, but I can give you the 90% concept real quick. This one means that you're importing the main library. Imagine that your project is so big that you have multiple classes. So for example, React, you cannot imagine that React is a single file. It's probably a Titan project with thousands of files. So React, without the curly braces, is the main element. But for example, when we do the use state, this is a secondary package. So the main one goes with the name of React, and this one is the core library, and additional functionality can be invoked using this curly brace syntax. What happens if React didn't want to use this syntaxes? Imagine that you don't want to use state at all, but because you don't have this way to break it down projects, each time that you import React, you're importing the use state, the hooks, and so on and so forth. So that will make your project heavy. By using this curly brace syntaxes, it allows you to actually break it down the stuff into smaller individual components, and this will make your projects lightweight. But in this case, you only need to know this is more for the project maintainers in case that they want to, instead of making one monolithic core, they want to break it down into smaller projects. So that's why. But I will find you a link with a more detailed information. But long story short, this is the main component. When you want to import additional or optional functionality, like for example the use state, you use the curly brace state.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, nice question. Another question?
What shall we do for the afternoon? We will work on the like yesterday's assignment.
Yeah, you can practice this one. You can use the video as a reference and try to accomplish the same stuff for today. And after tomorrow, let me see. Regarding I wanted to release the case study today, but I don't want to stress you out. I wanted to focus on understanding these ones before we move to another project. So yeah, I'm gonna move the real React project to tomorrow and give you the entire weekend to work on that. So today, focus on this part of the tutorial. Tomorrow, we only gonna do the search functionality. There is an additional one, and in that day, we're gonna tomorrow we unlock the final React project that is different for this one. So this one is not This you don't need to complete the video site to pass the web development front end part of the module. You use this video site as a practice for the real project that we are going to release tomorrow. I planned to release it today, but because we have problems on Monday, I need to shuffle the days one day more, and I will give you the weekend to complete the project. So you actually get it one day more, because I should give you, if I move the project from Tuesday to Wednesday, I will actually move the deadline from Friday to Saturday, but I will give it to Sunday as well.
I don't know why I thought the React tube was the case study.
That was the last year. It was the case study last year. It got down promoted to a case study because for this iteration, the real case study is a real job interview here in Stockholm that I aced. And I want to feel the same. I want that you feel the same pressure that I felt when I did that one over a weekend. So
you're so caring.
Oh.
wasn't the cupcake thing also from a not a job interview, but it was from your own personal something that you did?
Yeah, no, in that one it was totally the other way around. One friend of mine, I work as a web developer, of course, for many years in Ecuador, but I moved from a junior developer to head of the digital media department in Ecuador a long time ago. But my friend asked me as a consultant, hey, I need a website. And she was afraid to ask me that in case, that's so simple for me. She actually was afraid that I will feel offended if she asked me for a simple project. To be honest, no, I don't mind. Money is money. I will have it done. It. But she actually asked me as a consultant, I need a website and and I need recommendations for companies, but I also have this particular companies offering me this proposal. So first of all, she was quite her idea was not clear what she needed. So the consultant part of was helping her to decide, okay, you don't need a full e-commerce site right now. You can go with something smaller. And that, I didn't build the project, but the small cupcake website is based on I don't know how to say, a retell of the story that happened in real life. So it's like a movie. When they say based on a real story, it doesn't mean it's 100% true to the source, but it's an inspiration for that one. So yeah, it's based on a real story, yes, but I didn't build that website.
So you're not going to tell us anything about the interview task, or do we know this already? And have I just?
Yeah, you will know that tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I hear somebody else besides Tristan.
It will be a group work, the case study, or individual?
Individual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I did the code interview alone, you can do it alone as well.
Okay.
But good question. Yes, so there is no confusion. Yes, individual as well. If we're gonna ask more questions about the case study, we can leave that one for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're gonna see the case. So yeah. Questions not related to the case study? Yes, no? Remember, this video site is not obligatory to complete it. The reason that I am giving you this live session is so you can practice, and then you can do the other one. So don't say, hey, we have 2 projects in 1 week. No, this one is actually to practice, and the other one is you need to complete, just in case. So if we have no more questions, we can actually wrap it up.
Cool. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
And we can drop the 30-minute question session, because we actually answered the question right now. I was really afraid that the internet was gonna be slow for the rest of the day. So in any case, we're gonna have an additional lecture today at 5 o'clock. Topic other technologies. So we're gonna cover a lot. We are not gonna code anything, but we are gonna mention technologies that we have been popping around, and like SaaS and so on and so forth. So you can know a little bit about the web development world. So it's optional. Remember, no obligatory. So to the ones that were assist, see you later. Otherwise, see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See you
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. See you.
Yep.
Thank you.